But because the human was driven by desire, and only by desire, achievement, wanting to achieve more, you know, then what happened was getting used to that kind of mode, calling that passion. It's a misnomer. That's why then Adamus came up with the Massion concept. I am realized. That is, I am living in my realization.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, it is so complete in itself.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to sort of announce it all over the place, or
Yeah.
I can talk about it, obviously, you know, and it's okay. I don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can if I want to.
Yes. Wow.
But for me, it was easier. I would say, well, not easier, but yeah. Why do I say that? I had a moment of realization, and from then on,
Yeah.
then it has been discovering what this is. What is realization? Discovering myself living in realization.
Yeah.
Before I came into this lifetime, I realized I had set in place a moment in time, in chronological time, where I would have this Kundalini rising, this burst, which, if I weren't prepared for it, would make me either die or go crazy or sick or whatever. So when I started my awakening process and when I started my work with myself, I was very disciplined and I was in a hurry, so to speak, meaning that I had to do it and I had to do it and I had to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I had no questions about it. And it was the most important thing in my life, more important than anyone or anything, was integration.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the moment I started, I was very, 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 very disciplined.
Yeah.
And so 9 years later, so it took me 9 years. Actually, I started 9 years before that date that I had eventually already set before coming in, which I didn't know of, obviously.
Yeah.
Fortunately. It's good that we don't know these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
When that moment arrived, it was in 2013. On the 11th April 2013, all of a sudden, this huge fear came up, like terror came up.
Yeah.
I had been doing my integration consistently. Every single day, I integrated thousands of aspects. It was really very, very hard in terms of doing the work, but also very liberating, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in that moment, that huge fear, that terror came, I looked at it and I didn't need to run away.
Yeah.
Finally, I did not fear.
Yeah.
So in that moment, then something just burst inside of me, through my spine, burst in my head. I couldn't think anymore. My mind went blank. There was absolute silence inside of me, and my soul was just totally there. And my mind, what happened was, I felt, it's as if I can put it in an image, as if my mind kneeled before my essence and said, I surrender. So to speak, my human completely surrendered, totally and fully, and my mind just stopped working in the normal, regular way and said, okay, it's done. I died, basically. I just didn't need to leave the body to die, but I did a bit, in a sense that I could feel all of this going on in my body, and it was super intense, and it was an immense joy, and tears were running down my face, and I can't explain, it was super overwhelming. and my body felt inexistent. It felt intangible, transparent. So when I stood up after hours of this, I sort of was like floating. It's like I was floating. I couldn't feel my feet on the ground, so to speak, and I was like, am I here or am I not here? And who am I anyway? I couldn't relate. I couldn't remember personality. I couldn't remember anything. My mind was blank, really, as I say. I couldn't even remember. I had no idea of being a mother, or of it. Just all went away, and the only thing I knew in that moment was this merge of body, mind, and soul. It was like it all came together, and my heart was so at peace, and it is, and it has been ever since. And all emotion just crumbled completely. I've never then been sort of driven by emotion from then on. And so what happened, I say I'm thankful that it happened for me in that way, because it sort of made it easier in a sense, because then from that moment on, it has been a discovery of, okay, now how does one think when it's the soul saying, what you're supposed to think, or giving you the information, or showing you where in your memory the information is, because my memory went blank. And how does one adjust our physical vibration in order to be in the world with other people? Because in the first months it was challenging, because my body was so etheric, and I had to eat meat and stuff like that, just to feel more, to bring my vibration down a bit, because at the beginning it was physically painful to be with other people. I felt the strain in my belly. But on the other hand, that pain could not compare to the beauty of where I was inside, and to the love that came with all of this. And, to be able to look at each single human and not see a victim, or not see separation. It's indescribable, and to look at the world and see finally it's all well, it's all just the way it's supposed to be. And so from then 2013 up to now, and it's an ongoing process of discovery. And the thing I most discover each day is that I know nothing, and not needing to know, because I know when I have to speak, I speak the truth that comes from within me, and it just comes, and I don't need to know it before, and I don't need to take a note of it, because I know that in the next moment I need to speak something or whatever, it just comes, it's there. I don't need to run after it. I don't need to seek it. I don't need to seek for my essence, because I am in it, and it is in me, and I am here in my body, in this now moment all the time. I don't need to work on being. And my heart is, and you can feel it, so I don't need to explain. My heart is so peaceful all the time. That is the only thing for me to do. And the interesting thing is, so I've been living this for 7 years, and I'm a regular human as well. So I go out and I have friends, and I don't go out much actually lately. For the last year or 2 or 3, I have been very into my own house and space and that. But yeah, I sometimes go to conferences, and I interact with people and all that. And I have children. I have a job that doesn't really look like a job. But anyway, my life is a bit strange. If people were going to analyze it, it's strange in the sense that it's sort of almost too good to be true if you come to regular human standards. But the thing that I have realized is that, once you are completely fulfilled and you're living this beautiful life, there's nothing here more to do than to be that embodiment of that, and to share that. I mean, not because you have to save anyone or because you have any kind of duty, but then again, it's my gift to humanity. It's what I am here to do. It's like, it's interesting because even Adamus, as an ascended master, or any ascended master, they wouldn't have to support humanity in any way, right? But they do. Okay. So when you actually come into your realization, the only thing to do is support humanity. There's nothing else to do. But not now from a point of lack or need, or because and that I have to not live my beautiful life because of having to be in service or anything like that. No, of course not. It's for me. Being in my life is for me. I receive this peace first. I receive it. But then when I am with another, like for example, working with you or whatever, or whoever it is, or in a workshop, I am in that peace, and and that's what I am sharing. That's the safe space that I am creating. And that, of course, supports the other person or people in their own safe space for them to be this and to know that they are this, even when it doesn't seem so,
Yes.
you
Wow.
know? So, yeah, it's a constant discovery, and I do not lack anything, and my life is very, very, very out of the normal. So that's why I know it is possible. Yes, of course it's possible. It's happening right now. But that's why I also know there are some things that will make it harder and that will actually be an illusion. And
Yeah.
one of the things is wanting it so much,
Yeah.
and sort of somehow planning it. Like, for instance, all of this conversation about the summer of realization,
Yeah.
it becomes a little bit planned. It doesn't work that way. It happens.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to people, it happens differently. For
Yeah.
instance, I can see with people I work with and interact with, I can see it happening, and even if there's once in a while a small fear that comes up, but it doesn't interfere anymore, and that person is into their realization,
Yes.
ready. You see,
Yeah.
it's happening. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. And
Yeah.
it can happen like me in a burst, and
Yeah.
then you discover, like, I actually died,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I just
Yes.
didn't die as in the normal dying. I didn't need to be born again, right?
Yes. Yes.
But then I was reborn in a whole new
Yes.
way, and I am. Each
Yes.
moment I'm discovering this new birth.
Yeah.
Or it can happen gradually, moment to moment, until one day you find yourself fearless and you find yourself in this state of such complete abundance, and then it never goes away again.
Yeah.
That's when you realize. It's when it
Yes.
doesn't go away,
Yes.
it
Right.
just stays.
Yeah.
So mostly, I believe, many, not all, but many Shaumbra have felt this, this state of peace and bliss inside, and just staying here. Then it goes and comes and goes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. I mean, you just keep on integrating,
Yeah.
and one day it's just gonna stay
Yeah. Right.
without any kind of expectation, you see, like without making it the thing you're doing, so to speak. Like, no, what you're doing is you're living.
Yeah.
Your experiences, the different dimensions of you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And it's an ongoing experience, and one day you will discover yourself living a different level of experiences, and
Mm-hmm.
there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because as Adama says, and very well, it is a given fact that everyone that awakens will become realized, or will realize that they are realized.
Yeah. Yes.
Because the thing of realization is realizing that you don't need anything, and that
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing else beyond this
Yeah.
fulfillment. That
Yeah.
is realization.
Yeah. Yeah.
And staying in that, and then not having emotional roller coasters, or not playing the victim abuser savior game anymore, being totally free from that, and
Yeah.
being in compassion, and being able to look at each story as just a story, and in that being so in love that in itself is transformational. So it's not only possible, it's a fact. It's a given fact that it shall be the way it is.
Yeah.
But working on it, or sort of having it as an aim, is unnecessary. That means you don't really believe you're going to be there. You see what I mean? If you have it as an aim, it's because you're not fully trusting that it's a given fact for you. It is happening.
Yeah.
It's not somewhere out there.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be a struggle. Actually, that will postpone realization, full realization. There are stages of realization.
Yeah.
And it's not something you can, like, there's no rules, like you can say, this step and that and that and that. Each one has their own pace and rhythm and discoveries.
Yeah.
What I find a lot on the Crimson Circle pages on Facebook is there's a lot of confusion going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are very confused many times about,
Yeah.
and trying to figure things out through the mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's okay. I mean, it's an entertainment.
Yeah.
The want keeps it away.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Because the want means it's not there. Because you're seeking it from
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, the secret is allow. It's always the same thing.
It's all.
Allow.
Yeah.
Because it's here,
Mm.
you see. And you allow. With each breath of integration, you allow. With each moment of realization, with each epiphany, with each aha moment, you allow.
Yeah.
It's not something you need to strive for.
Yeah.
And I had loads of beliefs around what it would be like when that moment happened. And then, I started realizing that all of those beliefs, or most of them, were rubbish. Because then I had this idea, if you're an embodied realized master, you have to know how to materialize diamonds and stuff like that, and you have to be able to walk through walls and windows and all of that, and you have to. And then you realize, well, yes, you do walk through walls because you can see beyond physical limitations, can't you? And you do travel in time and space because you can go back and forth in time and see what's happening. And you do travel dimensions because you can access them. And you can be here and in another place at the same time because there are no limits to your consciousness. And it's just the way we believe things are. And then it all sort of, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, I know there are things that eventually I will be able to do, just because I discover all of a sudden how to dematerialize, for instance. And yeah, well, but I have no aim that
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
know that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it must be pretty simple because, of course, atoms are nothing.
Mm.
They're in thin air.
Yeah.
And we are just a construction of all of these atoms, protons, electrons, and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. To
No,
it.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So I realized that all of those ambitions were senseless.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not necessary, you
Mm-hmm.
see. What the heck for? And life, yes, does become much, much simpler, and things do come to you. They do. They
Right.
do.
Right.
They do come to you. But of course, you have to put in your part of consciousness for that to happen. I mean, if you are not available to receive, things do not come to you because you're shutting the door.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not sort of showing energy the way, it won't serve you. It will serve you in whichever way is shown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you invite it by being
Mm-hmm.
fully clear and present
Yeah.
and living life. I mean, life is to be enjoyed, is to be lived.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, what my concept of enjoyment at the moment is probably very different. It is very different from what it was when I was a teenager or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
my concept of enjoyment, for instance, the most enjoyable thing I could do right now is be at a peaceful place like I am right now here, and just sit in silence and enjoy that. You know, for me, that is pure bliss. It's not going to a party or there's nothing more blissful than this. And I would say that the more you enjoy that for yourself, because I know you enjoy that, the more you allow yourself to enjoy that, the more energy will serve you to be in that. You know, when I did aspectology and I heard Tobias saying that, you know, many who were doing the course and would live many years in realization on this earth, would be able to integrate all of the aspects and stay here and live. And at that moment when I heard that, that was in 2008, and I was like, whoa. And at that moment I was dealing with really tough aspects, really dark energy coming up, very hidden stuff, things from other lifetimes that were very, very horrendous. And I was like, jeez, how am I ever gonna, but that's me. I know I'm that person he's talking about. And somehow that gave me the resilience to be consistent with inviting the dark side to come back home and come and come and come. And yeah, okay, I'm ready for more. And I hardly took a deep breath, and I was inviting more and more in all the time. It was like, gosh, aren't you crazy? I mean, sometimes my body was so sore because this was going on and it hurts in the body. You feel this integration, and I sometimes I couldn't even get up because my back was so painful, or my joints, or you know, it was terribly painful, physically painful, because I did bring on a lot. I was like, I had no intervals.
Yeah.
You know, this is to be done, it's to be done, and it's to be done now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not tomorrow, not some other time, it's now.
Yeah.
And so of course, because I said, you know, I invite all of my lifetimes back home, and I literally said this.
Yeah.
And so come on.
Yeah.
And of course, it was tsunamis and tsunamis and tsunamis of aspects and fears and so many things. And when I was going through that, I knew all the time, I knew, because Tobias had said it, that it would somehow, someday, start looking different.
Exactly.
At time, it seemed so much and so overwhelming, and it seemed impossible, you know.
Yes.
Though it seemed impossible,
Yeah.
I knew it was possible.
Yeah.
And I never knew it would be so soon. You
Ah,
know, I was like, yeah, when in 2013 this happened, I thought, wow, you know, I'm still young. I still have another full life, chronological lifetime at least, to enjoy this. Wow, what a gift, you
yeah.
know.
Wow.
So no matter how hard or large or, you know, insurmountable it may seem at a given moment while the integration is going on, sometimes it gets a little bit fuzzy and confusing, and that the only thing is to have this certainty.
Yeah.
You are doing your realization.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With each aspect you integrate, with each aha moment, with each moving beyond fear, with each moment you're able to move beyond fear, it's happening. For most people, it will not be like this explosion that I had.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I mean, I chosen it like that.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm happy I did.
Yeah.
But I am very aware that if I hadn't been ready, I might have become catatonic. So things are so unique, you know, for each one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The important thing is to know.
Mm.
If realization weren't to pass in your existence, you wouldn't even know that something like that is possible and exists. Once you become aware of something,
Yeah.
it's because it's for you.
Yeah.
That's it, you see. Awareness, and somehow that, oh yes, that's what I want for me, that's what I'm here for. You know, that awareness, that means it's for you.
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about it or how it's gonna happen, or because it's happening already. When it's gonna be, well, that's just distractions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep on integrating, keep on integrating. Keep on knowing that you are much more than the human can grasp. Keep on allowing your essence to merge more and more. Keep on allowing yourself to listen to its guidance and to follow it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it, you know. There's this knowingness.
Yeah.
You don't learn it anywhere. It's a knowingness, you know.
Yeah.
That's why then usually when people come across the Crimson Circle teachings and that, then there's something that clicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
knowingness.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not somewhere else out there in the universe.
Yes.
Yes, we already had decided.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Friends. Yeah.
I have a notion I had decided this would be the lifetime over 1,000 years ago. Long time ago. So then I kept myself entertained for the past over 1,000 years with stuff. Earth stuff.
Yeah.
until, and so of course making my time harder, but because I wanted to be here now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you are that. You see, you are doing your own threshold,
Yes.
personalized just for you,
Yeah, yeah.
for sure.
Mm,
There are no recipes.
yeah.
There are, of course, guiding points,
Mm-hmm.
but those come to us in different forms.
Yeah.
You just feel as
Mm-hmm.
you go, you feel what's appropriate for you,
Mm-hmm.
not comparing to anyone,
Right.
and what this one did and the other one did, and so
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
It's really just for you.
yeah, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Those are the things that are coming from your essence. And not because you're sort of better or anything else. It's just, you just know certain things that are for you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's you. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then people tend to go into comparing and also go into, there's nothing wrong with admiring someone who is there. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, admiring from an innocent, loving point of, wow, that is so beautiful. I'm so thankful to be in that presence, and that's beautiful. Or then there's the other kind of admiring, like people do with gurus and things like that, which is, you are the light, you are more than me, you are somehow more capable,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so on. That kind of admiration then pushes your own realization a little bit away from you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because then again you're looking outside.
yeah.
The idea with this sharing at the moment is, you know it's possible, it's being done, and it is happening. Yes, it is happening
Mm-hmm.
on earth. It's true,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. and
Mm-hmm.
and take the energy, the consciousness from the presence, and use it for you. So in this sharing with you, the gift is just to come to peace with the fact that, yes, I am actually doing it. And it is really possible, and it is really happening. Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Be grateful for that. It will surely help you now, from now on, to deal with the victim that comes up, and to realize, come on, I'm on my path of realization. I'm not a victim. That's just a story. I'm not an abuser. That's just a story. And you will stop playing those games because they won't make any more sense.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not here to be saved or to save anyone.
Yes.
Sometimes there have been moments during these last 7 years, there have been moments when it was lonely, in the sense that you never feel lonely when you're realized, like there's nothing
Not
missing.
really lonely. No.
Yeah, but not lonely in that sense. I know what you mean. I mean the kind of lonely that you are actually really a pioneer, and there are moments where you know that no one can relate to what you're feeling, or that you can't share it with anyone because they won't understand, and it doesn't matter. But I mean, there are moments where it's really a very lonely path in that sense.
Yes.
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 Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. Not lonely in the sense that you need others, but in the sense that it's so just you.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly, there you are.
That's
And yeah, there are moments when it would be nice. There have been moments now I have more people in my life who can really fully grasp what I'm talking about.
yeah.
But in the past 7 years, and especially initially, there weren't there was no one, actually no one, who
Yeah.
I could speak to
Yeah.
about this and that they could grasp.
Wow. Yeah.
And those moments were tough in a sense, not that,
Yes.
not tough in the way that normal human would think of tough, but yeah, in the sense that,
Yeah.
it's like, sort of, what am I doing here?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, I'm
Yes.
staying, and
Yes.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah. And as consciousness has expanded in the last years, um, now there are more people who can understand, and who want that for them as well, and who
Yeah.
can relate.
Yeah.
It's much easier, you
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
There were moments when there were things that I was going through, in a sense of, because this is so, this what you call high class problems. So it's not regular human problems, in a
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's things you're going through in that realization.
Yeah.
After realization,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
continuously expand that realization, right?
Yes. Yes.
There were things that there were moments that were so different and so strange and so completely unheard of, but
Yeah.
I couldn't share them with anyone
Yeah. Yeah.
physically embodied.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I might share it with Damas, or with Kuan Yin, or and
Yes.
with my soul, obviously, and
Yes.
that's obvious, yeah, because my soul is here all the time. So
Yes. Yes.
it's not even a sharing anymore, because it's like I'm in my soul
Yeah.
is in me.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been a very interesting journey, and there have been moments that have been challenging,
Yeah.
in the sense of, do I really want to stay? There
Yes.
have been
Yeah.
moments when I have felt, there's so much, the level of unconsciousness is, or still so prevalent, and that, and but I notice a huge change in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's been lightening up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and consciousness has really been expanding in a beautiful way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then another challenge that is always a continuous challenge is expanding compassion. As if that could, like, the essence in me is totally and fully compassionate, but when I interact with the world around me, um, I'm still blending with compassion. So, for instance, when interacting with people and so on, it's allowing that compassion to be so vast, so grand, that there is nothing beyond it. Even when you see a senseless thing happening right in front of you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and being able to be in that place of such compassion that you
Mm-hmm.
feel no waves of anything going on,
Yeah. Yeah.
is total full acceptance of every single
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
and every single thing just the way it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have friends that I see are going through, that they are going to run into a brick wall, and I
Yeah.
can see it happening.
Yeah.
But being in the space of compassion, that I'm not saying anything or in any way helping them,
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
anything,
yeah,
because they've not asked.
yeah, yeah,
Because you become so aware of things
yeah,
that
yeah,
you can see things unfolding.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you know that really tough stuff is going to happen,
yeah, yeah,
but you can't do anything about it and you're not supposed to.
yeah,
And that's where sometimes it's challenging
yeah,
because I'm still a human
yeah.
in a human
So,
body. Yeah, it's not that it hurts in a sense that you feel it hurting,
mm,
but it's like coming to terms with the fact that there is
yeah,
nothing to do. Not that it sort of makes me feel any kind of pain,
wow,
but it's, for even with my children, I can see sometimes the way they're behaving and so will lead to a certain situation, but it's not my place to avoid it.
yeah, yeah,
Being in such a place of compassion that everyone is allowed
yeah,
to have their exact experience and I am not to interfere in any way.
yeah, yeah,
That is challenging. For
wow,
me, that is the greatest challenge
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
also the greatest discovery, by allowing myself to
yeah,
be in that state of such acceptance that then actually things do change even if I didn't say anything or do anything, but I'm providing my consciousness. It's creating a sort of a light
yeah,
into that. So it's also being very aware. Another magical thing is being very aware of the power of my thoughts
mhm,
and of my words and of course of my actions, but
mhm.
usually we don't realize what I offer my attention to is enlightened by that. So I am very careful of what I entertain my thoughts with,
Mhm, mhm,
what I'm going to think about. Am
mhm,
I going to offer my attention to this or that or that?
mhm.
Because when I do, it shifts stuff
Wow. Yeah.
in people's lives. I see it happening in front of my eyes.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I don't even need to be with them or speak to them,
Yeah.
do anything. So that's why it's so relevant to come into this space of compassion and to really learn more and more. It's not learn, but allow more and more myself to be that compassion. That when I look at something, when I offer my attention to anything, is in such a space of clarity, of neutrality, that I am not creating any kind of outcome for people. You see,
Yeah.
I am offering that space of such neutrality that the person can actually not live a certain drama or whatever, because then it's neutral from where I'm looking. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that way or that way or that way. It sort of clears things.
Yeah.
So that's where compassion comes in as an actual magical tool.
Mhm. Wow.
And whenever I want to move more energy, like faster or something, for a situation, even in my own reality, or that I just talk about it with my closest friend, or that she's also in that this understanding, and we move. Boy, do we move energy! I mean, things just happen immediately, even while we're talking. So being aware of this power is very relevant because it is, in fact, a huge responsibility.
Yes.
Living in realization is a huge responsibility
Yes. Yeah.
because then you become aware of how everything you think, say, and do
Mhm.
affects
Yeah.
reality, and not only yours, but
Yeah.
the one of the people you think about or
Yeah.
speak about.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So, on one hand, I cannot change any outcomes, even if I see something like really like someone's going to have an accident or whatever, and it just passes through me that I know that that is it. but I don't see it as a drama or anything.
Yeah.
So it's okay, and then the person can actually have the accident and learn whatever they have to learn with it. And yeah, but initially that was a bit of a challenge for me because it is an ongoing process, you see. The blending, it goes on and on and on and on and on. It does not stop.
Yeah.
It's not like you come to that point and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then, of course, it's a whole new life, a whole new reality, whole new possibilities, a um, whole new way of living energy and of allowing it to serve you and all that. I mean, it's completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then it's sort of an ongoing experience of allowing more and more and more and more and more. As I keep on saying, peace just keeps on growing inside of me. And it seems impossible how there could be more. Because there's so much of it, you see, and it's interesting. It's really strange if you were to think about how, and it's just the way it is. Yeah. And I do see and believe that many people who get attached to channeling then do have a little bit of trouble doing their own realization, because then they're all dependent on channeling something else, thinking that they're only listening to someone else's wisdom, and then not really allowing their own wisdom to shine and show itself. Yes. And it's more about allowing that to blend with you and feel that wisdom than really channeling per se, because if you're channeling something else. So yeah, but why would you want to channel it if it can be you, if you can be it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's making that shift as well, you see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So for instance, in my case, back in 2011, I had this I don't know if you know Lady Nada. Lady Nada is the higher consciousness of Mary Magdalene. Anyway, Lady Nada, I had been working with her for a long time during my awakening, and she came closer and closer and invited me to write a book which is called Be Love Beyond Illusion. Now, at the time, it was called not just another book about love, the book about love. And I didn't know what I was going to write. And so it just came. And she said, we're going to blend. What do you mean blend? My consciousness is blending with your soul, with your essence. We're blending. I said, oh, now why on earth would you, an ascended master, who is in this absolute pure peace, want to blend with my essence? Your essence is a master as well. And so what do you have to gain with that? I asked at the time. I remember having this conversation. Said, she showed me. You, Aila, who's the sound vibration of my soul, Aila, has been so bold, so courageous throughout all of the embodied experiences in different lifetimes, and brought about so much passion and joy. And your soul is this absolutely joyful, passionate being, and I am this stillness, this peace, and I want to experience this boldness, this wild passion. So that's why we're blending. So now you get to experience more of me, which is this peace that I experience. And I get to experience more of you. And by blending this, it also makes isness more tangible for the human. Why? Because the peace coming in from nada is so still and silent. It could be strange for the human to grasp, but because my essence is very from the world, and very joyfully alive and vibrant, then it makes that peace more tangible.
Yes.
More real.
Yes.
That's how it
Yes.
works. So I say, oh wow, fantastic. Okay, right. And so that blend has been happening naturally. I don't need to think about it or anything. But just to say, she's just here in me. I'm in her. Well, she's not a she anymore. So I'm not channeling. I'm just being it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
There you are. But it's interesting because then sometimes I'm sort of, so how do I know when it's you speaking or when it's my own essence? And the answer is, you don't, because it's all the same thing.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, it's really interesting. So this all to say that it's not channeling your essence. You are it. It's just allowing it. There are different layers to that. The reason why he's doing that is very deliberate. It's because we have come into the habit of putting things outside of ourselves and like doing it for others and all of that. And it is essential to fall into each one's own realization. It's just for you. And so that's why he is very deliberate while sharing this, that you are your own oneness. And that is essential to realize. But then within that, and it's essential to let go of everything else in order to really imbibe that and to know that you are your own oneness. But then, in fact, that oneness which is neutral and which is the void, which is all, is the same God self in every single one. And what makes each one unique is the experiences that we have had in our embodiments, and that we have then taken the treasures from those experiences and added them to the whole of ourself, of our essence, of who we truly are. That makes each one unique. That's why Damas is not the same as Kutumi, is not the same as Kuan Yin or Nada or whatever. Each one is unique, but there is this coherence. This coherence. The language of the divine speaks the same language everywhere and anywhere. And in that sense, yes, we are, first of all, we are all that oneness. Ultimately, the void, but then with our uniqueness. Yeah.
Get a bit
I do feel that it's sort of deliberate because, you know, even people in spiritual circles, and a lot of those come through also Crimson Circle and all that, have this ready-made idea because this is the oneness and we go into the oneness, and you don't go into the oneness of all before going into the oneness within you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And you always are a oneness unto yourself.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you are God also
Yes.
means that oneness that we
Yes.
all are. I mean, this is said by the Crimson Circle. And if you say I am God also, it means that God is a oneness, right?
Mm.
So it's a bit nonsensical to to um, to sort of want everyone to believe that there is not that oneness.
Yes.
So the idea behind that is you have to let go of everyone else
Yes.
in order to be your full one self.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But you cannot not be part of
Yeah.
the oneness.
Exactly. Yeah.
And each one uniquely
Yes.
bringing their
Yes.
own very unique treasures into
Yeah.
that expanded
I
consciousness. Yeah, when I heard him say that, I actually smiled. Yeah, okay. It will make some people question a lot, and very rightly so, because
yeah.
it's not either one thing or the other, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. Right.
I don't watch the shouts. I mean, I haven't watched the shout in a long time, but sometimes now and then I watch one or other, and I pick up stuff that people are saying through posts here and there, so I know what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Not because I watch them. I used to watch them, but then, like from 2013 onwards, and before even that, I stopped watching regularly.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Once in a while, I do. Then I know what's going on, and I look at it. Yeah, you know what he's saying is totally true because I know it is. I'm living it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes he exaggerates
Yeah. Yeah.
to one side or the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Then
Yeah.
that's what gets people going. But what he says is true. Of course, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me
Thank you so
too.
much.
It's so good to be able to share these things and now not be something that is very strange.
Yes. Yes.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much.